Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Whip Finish Wednesday. Hello, Steve. It's time to wake up, and we'll say hello to everyone on Instagram. My name's John Muth, and over on the side is Katie.
Hello.
We're here live with you every Wednesday night. If you're new to us and not watching live, hopefully you'll hop over Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time and come over and say hello. Every Wednesday, we tie a fun fly, and we encourage everyone to tie it and share it with us so we can share it the following week. We really appreciate you guys that watch us from here in the States to all the way down in Australia. Good day, Ken B. It's nice to see you. And what's up, Dead Drift Fishing and Jimmy Roop? Um, Speaking of Jimmy, we've got a good news for everyone here in just a second. Tonight, we're going to be tying the Gurgler, and we're going to tie this in size 2, which those of you who have been watching for a while, although last week we tied some bigger clousers. Normally, we're tying small stuff. So for us to tie a size 2, pretty big deal. What's up, Mike? Mr. Phillips, good to see you hopping on too. So we're going to tie some size 2 Gurglers. These are great for bass. These are great for saltwater. We fish these redfish and tie much smaller sizes. They were for panfish. We have not fished for trout with them, but we've been told they work with trout. So speaking of the good news, last week Jimmy Roop won the lid rig fly box along with the flies that we tied for the past 2 previous weeks. And he sent us a note and said, since I won the week before, because, it's a random drawing and we drew his name twice in a row, he said, why don't y'all draw another name to kind of spread the wealth a little bit. So once Katie gets all set up with her microphone and everything, she's going to do another drawing. And what we did is I really need big bugs to hurl at these guys with $1,000 bamboo fly rod hot spotting me. Yes, you need some good ones for sure. So here in a second, Katie is going. She's got all the names from the previous 2 weeks in a hat or a box or a cup, and she's going to draw another winner for the lid rig fly box and flies. So since she's on, I'll turn it over to her.
That's right. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to do another drawing for the lid rig box with the flies inside. As you can see, ready to go. And a cool lid rig sticker we're going to throw in there. And I included the names from the last 2 weeks' drawings and from this week as well. Oh. So we're going to go ahead and draw for that. But as a quick reminder, usually most of our drawings, the way that you can enter our drawings is when you share a picture of your fly, you need to tag at Demuth Fly Fishing on the actual picture. And if you don't know how to post your picture, and then you click next, and it gives you options to put something there. Go to tag people and then put Demuth _ fly fishing. And then the tag will actually show up when you hover over it on the picture. So that's how we normally do it. We're going to change it up a little bit for next week. And I'll talk about that with you guys and show you how to do that in a few minutes. But tonight, let's go ahead and do our drawing and see who our winner is for the cool lid rig fly box.
Boom, boom, boom.
And thank you, Simperfly, for the cool mug.
Who's it going to be?
Let's see who it's going to be. Chasing Feathers.
So that's
Congratulations, Mark. Chasing Feathers. You are a big winner this week of the lid rig magnetic fly box with flies inside. So congratulations. And hope you have fun with it. Hope you enjoy it. I think it's going to be awesome.
Mike likes your mug.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
And they were talking about fly rods on there, bamboo expensive ones, graphite expensive ones, but you can definitely get some non-expensive ones around those teenagers because you think they'd take a few lessons. So Nan, we're going to be tying a large fly just for you.
Just for you.
All told 10. I think we've got one of those, Steve.
Shall we
is
share,
that little metal clips that hold the flies in?
before we get to that, shall we share some of the
Yes, let's do that. Let's share the pictures that were sent, and Ken B emailed us his picture. And if you obviously can do what Katie just said, but you can also email them to us at demuthflyfishing@gmail.com.
That's right. So here's some of the pictures of the clousers that we got this week. This is one of Ken B's pictures. He sent 2, and they looked absolutely great. And here's the second one. We also got some pictures, a couple pictures from Dub Noodle 1 of his clouser versions. And then we have Fly Tying Maniac.
And I really like Jason's picture here where he's got the actual minnow itself.
That was really cool how he put that in with the picture. Great idea. Gray Ghost Fly Tying sent a couple of different shots
Old
in
Surfer Dad,
2 different colors. And then Jimmy contributed a really cool picture that I found right before I was getting everything ready today. So I'm glad that I got that one. And Mike Ragsdale's. I like that blue and kind of gray and white. And then here is the really cool post that there's Mark did here. So I thought that was neat. And again, this is just a review of our drawing. We are not going to do that. We're going to do another way. So as in a little bit how we're going to do next week's. So that's it.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Katie, for showing us those pictures and getting us rolling. So one of the things we were talking as clousers last week, we're talking about deer hair and deer tails. And it was like, you can't use the bottom part of the tail, the base of the tail, because it flares too much. And I was trying to think of a good pattern that you could use that, because one thing that I don't like doing is throwing materials away or saving them. And Katie loves it when I've got little pieces and little scraps, and she says, "Can I throw these away?" And I'm like, "No, you can't throw that away. That's good stuff right there." Hello, Truman. So for the tail, we're going to incorporate some of the base of the bucktail that flares to give that tail a little more body. So hopefully we're going to get 2 done. One is going to be very similar to the one we posted today, which is this one in the vise here. And this is just about an all white one. Katie, we switch this over to the vise, please. This is going to be an all white one. And what I did is I colored the face of it red. And you see the bucktail back there, a little flash in it, and a couple feathers on the side. So even though this is a big fly, it's a pretty simple fly to tie. So we'll get rolling on this one. And then you got some nice little legs here. So the hook we're going to use is a size 2. I don't have the right package here, but is this the Nordic Salt 122 Light Stinger number 6. Sorry, I'm using number 2, not a number 6. But the NS 122 is the model we're using. Quick deer tail question: should we use the dark hair on the opposite side tail? It appears shorter. You can. A lot of times I don't, because it's not the right color, and you end up getting a bunch of that darker hair. But you can use it. I end up pulling it out when I get my clump. That's I had another hook sitting here. Since I had excuse me, I got distracted with Steve and Jeff and Bill hopping on. Yes, you can use the dark deer hair. I usually pull it out just because it doesn't match the color that I want, but you absolutely can. And yeah, Steve, when I did this one, I thought we'll show right here. I thought that'd be kind of like your typical. Oh, what's the name for it? The one you walk the dog, like a normal surface lower torpedo looking thing that you walk the dog with. That's just white with a red front for conventional fishing. I can't think of the name of it. A spook. So we throw saltwater spooks, and that kind of had a spook little feel to it with the all white with the red face. So we'll get started here. And just so I've got it right, Jeff Rowley, welcome to the fun times. So the thread we use is the same as last week. We use a 6/0 classic wax thread from Semperfli, and we use white. And that's what I'm talking about. Everyone, say hello to Gary and everyone. If you're sitting being quiet in the back row, make sure to pipe in and say hello, ask a question, say something completely random, whatever. Because a lot of the questions you all ask, I might not know the answer to, and there's a good chance I won't. But there's a better chance that someone on here will. So, Jeff likes tying. He does like tying deer hair spooks. So that like an all white one. I don't know if I've seen Jeff tie an all white one. His are way too fancy, and they've got they're just really fancy. But just a white spook with a red front. That light's really blowing that red out of there. But anyway, so we're gonna do the same thing. So I've got the same bucktail, deer tail that we used last week. Switch over to the side view here. And last week I was like, so this is the sweet spot. Don't want to use that. And Gary said a fan wing or some sort of clouser. I can't remember the name of it. We're just kind of making stuff up. So I figured I'd use this on this pattern. So I'm going to pull off a little chunk here. I'm going to do kind of the same thing we always do. Get all the shorts out of there. Get a comb if I want to, but just kind of flicking it's really all you need to do. Large days on Saturday, which would look like your tying except a black top. Huh. Oh, and Nan sent us a cool picture of a smallmouth that she caught on a clouser this week, but we just got it and Katie did not. She might get it stuck on there, but we got it just a second too late.
But we saw it.
But we did see it. So
you can check it out on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm just trying to get this.
It's a size 2 hook, Bill.
This is a size 2.
And it's an Arex.
Arex 120 and Nordic Salt 122. So what I'm looking for with the hook is just kind of a bigger gap. And on this particular pattern, I want there to be a little bit more shank. So just a normal length shank. So I like the bigger gap. So it's going to help it hang down. This is the light stinger hook. So it is a topwater hook. So it's not very, it is a lighter weight wire, but plenty strong for what we're going to be catching. But like I said, as long as the hook cap's there, you're good. And I'm spending a little extra time thinning this out because I have too much. So I've got a little clump here, and we'll measure it long. So let's say that's 1, that's 2. So I'm going to spin this around, cord my thread up just a touch. Let's get some wraps on there. And just for the fun of it, we'll run this through to make sure that deer hair is all locked in there. Find my scissors. It's one of the first days I did not vacuum off my desk nicely before we went live.
I didn't notice.
Yes, Eric. I think I've seen your name somewhere. We've only been doing this for, I don't know.
A few years.
5 years.
But on YouTube.
On YouTube, brand new.
When's
relatively.
How long have we been on YouTube?
Was it all? We're coming up on
a year.
Full year.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got this on there. You see how much it's flared here? See there on the side how much it's flared? So I'm just going to take this bundle, hold it up on top, and bring this right back to the back, and just put some tighter wraps here. And you can see it's much more flared than we can go around it to keep it on top and kind of keep it from spinning. There we go. So see how that's got a bigger profile than what we had on the fly. Was a green and yellow gurgler. Cool. Like red-eye bass. I love it when I look over and y'all are chatting amongst yourselves. That's great. So you can see how this is flared out much more than on the Clouser. And that's exactly what I'm shooting for. So the next thing we're going to do is throw some flash on here. We're going to use this Crinkles on again. I've been using this a lot recently. I think on the one we posted earlier, I used the Semperfly Mirror Flash and Mirage White, which is this one right here. But we're going to switch it up. And so I'm going to just lay this on top, kind of fold it around, spin it, because I want this flash to kind of envelop that bucktail. Just for the fun of it, we'll just do it like that. So see, we got a nice little flash, not too flashy. You know what? I think I want a little bit more, just to keep it. Well, thank you, Eric. Where have I seen your name, Eric Estrada? Are you an artist? I think so. An artist from Florida, maybe. All right, I'll pull this back. Now we got some flash on here. Now we got some flash. That's looking better. Okay, so we got flash all around, mainly on the top, but we've got it all around. Now we're going to throw some feathers on here. So think about the color more than I've got, this is just a rooster neck. Yeah, do fly fishing artwork. All right, Eric. All right, 7 strands. 7 strands of what, Steve?
Of splash.
7 strands, yeah.
Exactly. You have to count them specifically.
So this is not a fancy cape. This cape actually has got a really cool story behind it. We'll save that for later. Long story short, this is one that Andy Renzetti gave Katie and I when we were down hanging out with him in Florida. But I pulled a feather off of both sides, so you can see how they're bent in opposite directions. And I'm going to strip off the fuzzies a little bit. Katie down in Sarasota. When, Katie? November, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, November.
And we're going to be back out west the end of September.
Yes, we are.
All right, so these are going to be a little bit shorter than what I did before, but that's okay. So here's a trick for you when you're tying down. This is a Kelly Gallup trick. When you time these, I believe they're timed. Oh, are you talking about not knowing what chips is, like the motorcycle cops in California
I remember watching the actual the original chips.
Yeah, with what's the name? The dude,
Eric Estrada. Yeah.
Oh, is that why you are going?
Yeah.
Is that not that dude's real name, Eric Estrada?
Yeah, that's the guy on chips. His name.
But is that the gentleman that is speaking to artists?
I assume that's also his name. I'm sure this is not the
There's
first
not
time
2 of them out there.
He's heard this joke. He's the artist, and then there's the 1980s motorcycle cop.
I'm tracking with you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got some flat nose,
impossible,
whatever they're called. I'm lost of words now. Take your feather, and like I said, this is a Kelly Gallup thing, and just crush the stem a little bit. And so the stem is going to be round to oval. They're not flat.
Right. So you're not using like scissors.
Right.
You're
These are
yeah.
shoot, I can't. Dude,
They're,
I'm just struggling on.
they're like plier scissors.
Yep. Good. All right. See you, Ken. Thank you for hopping on.
Hey Ken, thanks for watching. As long as you could. You have a good night.
Good morning in Australia.
A good morning.
He just woke up. He's gonna go to work.
Yep, he's going to work.
All right. So, I can't think of the name of these things. All right. So I crushed the stem. That's going to help it tie down better. So now I want this to have a kind of bigger footprint. So as you can see, I've got it facing outboard, and I've got I told you I grabbed one from each side of that cape. Here we go. That looks good. So they're both going to go up. And the reason I'm having them where they go up is because I want gravity to do its thing. So this one I'm just going to do the exact same way. Pinch. I think I saw Eric Estrada, not the motorcycle guy. Let me flip this around so I can see it. Fishing in Florida and doing some pretty cool stuff over there. Squeezy. Chip flashback as you flustered. Yeah, it does. Well, I wasn't paying any attention. And when you're talking about being a motorcycle cop, I know you are in the Harley Davidson business. And I was like, what are you doing with motorcycle cops? That doesn't make any sense. All right, we'll call that good for now. All right. So if you want to put two on each side, you can. If you're going to do it, why not go a couple different colors? So I've got this is a whiting freshwater saddle, freshwater rooster that is badger white dyed badger. I don't think it's dyed, but so I'm gonna grab two feathers. These are a little bit straighter, so I don't really care what side they come from. Forceps, thank you, Bill. I've stroked my life, but it's gotten me out of a few tickets. Anyway, I'm here to watch Flight Notes. Gotta love it. Okay, so this one I'm gonna have this feather be a little bit shorter than the one we just tied in. So I'll just measure the distance here. So that one's good. Now I want the other one to be the same distance. So I'll just stack them. We're gonna do this kind of quick. Stack them up. Pull it off. Make sure they're still the same length. And if, like I said, if you want to do the exact same color from the same cape, you could. This is just adding some additional bulk onto the fly. So pull this down, tag this in here. And when I tie this on, if you can see, I've got a little bit of the feather. So I'm not just tying bare stem. I'm going to catch my thread right here. So I'm catching some of the barbs as well and then working back. So it gives it a little bit more to bite onto and allows me to kind of be a little bit more specific with my tie-in, and it keeps that feather just a little bit more secure. There we go. So you see how those two kind of stack up on each other and look good. I'll bring my thread back to where it was. That one kind of didn't work too well, but we'll stick this one on. All right. So this is going to be a simple one, Eric. Hey guys, what's up, Mike? All right. So there we go. We've got, and that's just for just an accent, nothing fancy at all. So with your foam, now depending on what you're going to do and depending on what your body is going to be on the shank, if I'm going to use this, if I can find it, the extreme string for the body. So this is really long. It's going to add a lot of body to it. So if I tie on some hackle here and make this part really fancy and try to add some stuff there, this is pretty much going to cover it up. So like I said, this is going to be a simple. I forgot to flatten them. I did, Steve. Thanks for that. Steve, you're going to be my new Gary. Tell me when I forget stuff. That is a good little hack there, is keep them flat. But I guess I got lucky and tied them in without flattening them. But in this case, since I'm using this fuller hackle to go in the front, the synthetic, I'm not worried about tying anything else in. So we're just going to go foam this, and then we're pretty much done. So I'm going to take my foam, and because this is a kind of a shorter piece, I want to make sure when I tie it in, I've got enough to come over and do my lip. So normally, and the next one we'll probably do is a fancy purple and yellow one. I've got plenty of room, and I'll tie it in right by the eye. This is Semperfli's new 4.5 millimeter foam. So it's a perfect thickness for these flies. This is two 2 millimeter sheets that Katie's glued together. So the good question, Steve. So this is 4.5 millimeter, one piece, or glue two millimeters together. I've seen people do up to 6 millimeters. I've seen people just use 2 millimeter, but I think 4 millimeters is kind of the sweet spot on it. So let's get this on here, and we'll angle it towards me. Put a wrap, pull tight, pull tighter, start wrapping it around. Just catch this on there really good. Get it nice and tight. Now, Steve or Gary or anyone at all, do not let me forget the legs. So once I get the thread off of the foam, I can pull down hard. So it's good to, one of the tricks to help it not spin is don't just put all your wraps directly on the foam. Bring it back and forth. And that will help it not spin. So there we go. Now we've got our foam on there. Pull it forward to make sure. See how you can see a little bit of that thread right there. So I'm gonna bring this back. So I'm gonna pull it forward to check and make sure that we don't have that. If you do, no problem. Now's the time to fix it. There we go. What glue do you use with foam? No tie-in triangle. I don't cut it all. You can cut it to a triangle if you want to. Not a big deal. So that's kind of the way I want my shape after I'm done. I want to. So this is I always try to tell you who I steal tricks from. This is a 239 Flies trick. A lot of times you see people do the Gurglers. They'll pull them and pull it tight like this. I like leaving a little bit going up like this because that gives it just a little more foam to add flotation. The glue, if I'm going to use glue, I'll just use regular super glue. I don't remember what I think I've got right now. I've got this Gulf Minuteman super glue because it's the only stuff I don't have that's not dried up. But so I'm gonna grab some sleep. Grab 2. If it's legit, Truman. So yeah, Katie, maybe we ought to get you all to add comments to the video after we're done to see if we can get Katie to do a video on gluing the sheets of foam together, because she can definitely do that. What do you think, Katie?
Sure, for sure. I'd be happy to.
All right. So all I'm going to do is take my legs, make sure they're the same length, and we'll tack them down right on top like this. Have a set go to either side. Bring this down. Now I don't want them to be too far down around the hook shank. I want them to be kind of on top. So I'm going to bring this one. And I was so excited about not forgetting my legs. I did forget one material. I feel like a frog version make it fly with green foam and dyed badger hackle, similar to this one. So this is green. I've got green underneath. It's a little more chartreuse with sparkly yellow on top, so you can see it, and green on the bottom. And when you're mixing the colors, this is green, or this is olive, I believe, with just a regular grizzly behind it. So it kind of makes a nice little frog type pattern. So let's get our. I told you this would be an easy one. So if I keep talking, it's not going to be an easy one. All right. So we'll tie this in. Kind of tacked in. Where's another leg? I think that's okay. So try to tie that material in first before you get all excited like I did. Okay. So we go. Oh.
I'm just working on
Oh, you're working on that? Okay. All right. So now we're just going to wrap this around. And I left this on the card. You can definitely cut it off if you want to. My first wrap, I'm going behind these legs because that's going to keep them kind of propped out a little bit. I'm going to bring them back like this. Make sure they're positioned right where I want them. And just like hackle. Now this material is directional. So, or if you can see it only comes off one side. So we don't want to wrap the, we don't want to wrap it upside down. Is that right?
Have a good dinner, Bill.
See you, Bill. Thank you, Katie. So just bring this around. So it's good for this to have a lot of volume, but we don't want it to have a lot of water soaking up ability. So if this had like a big, thick, heavy body, that's going to make it to where it can soak up a bunch of water and not really move quite the way we want it. But with all this foam and with the ability to add more foam, don't be too worried about it not being buoyant enough. All right, so we're just going to keep wrapping this. Trust me, if this was on the card, it would make it a little bit easier. But I like doing these. I don't like using the rotary on this type because I want to really control that hackle and make sure it's going to stick up right where I want it. Brush it out with each wrap. So I'm going to go right up to the hook eye, or right, maybe a couple thread wraps before. It's right there. Let me untangle my bobbin. Hold that up. Put a few wraps in, pull tight. Pull everything back. So now we got our nice body. See, it doesn't have a real thick, heavy core. Got our nice legs on there. So far, so good. Okay. Now we're just doing the simple thing. We're going to kind of give this material apart, just parting it over so the top's kind of flat. Bring our foam down, making sure there's enough to be a little bit of a lip. I'm going to pull tight. Pull tight. It's kind of angled towards me, so every time I pull on it, it kind of straightens it up a little bit. Pull everything back. Building up a bunch of thread wraps here. This is what's going to help hold that lip up. And that is looking pretty good.
Looks pretty gurgly.
Pretty gurgly. I got one of my feathers is crooked, but that'll be okay.
Are you going to take a marker and color underneath?
Sure, we'll show the little trick here. So we'll pull this back. pull that around. Now we'll look at it, see how we're looking. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna throw another whip finish on there just for the fun of it. There we go.
Did you tell them what kind of glue that you use with the foam?
Yeah, I just said super glue, but I'm not using any glue.
But didn't we use like spray glue one time, like
yes.
with the sheets?
So I think you're talking about 77. So that's
okay.
That's when I was like, you could give a tutorial on doing the spray.
I mean, I can. I mean, I don't know like how interesting it's going to be. It's just like spray glue and some like foam, and you spray it on.
How long to cut the lip? So it's just that's like how do you know how long to cut the lip? It's however long you want it. And I say that 100% serious. I'm gonna take a marker while I'm talking and start coloring this up. It's however long you want it. I'm sure some people will say there is a right answer. There might be a right answer, but I've seen people catch fish and tie these with very, 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 very short lips on them. And I've even seen people bring this lip over, pull it back down and make a loop for the lip to add even more flotation. So it's just whatever your personal preference is. So this is probably kind of in the middle of what is officially acceptable. So you can see I just colored that up, that face up right there. And if you want to, you can round it off with your scissors. I think I'm just going to put a couple little cuts here just to make it not so hard of angles. So there's that all done, except for trimming the legs. So that'll push some water pretty good. We'll trim the legs right there. So I'm just basically trimming the tabs off of them. And there. Whip one up, Jeff. Deer hair gurgle. So there we go. There's our finished gurgler with kind of a crooked tail, but it's okay. I got one of them's upright. So let's do another one. You keep talking about purple. We'll do the purple. Now this one's going to be a little bit different. And while I'm getting going, Katie, is there anything you need to share?
Oh, well, first, I just wanted to refresh your memory. Don't you remember those days? Check it out.
Yes.
There you are, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Chips.
Oh, yeah. That blondie. Sure. I tell you what.
Look at that blondie. Look at you. You've
been over there quiet. I was wondering what
you
you
had
were
such
doing.
Motorcycle cop hair back in those days. It's awesome.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, so this week we're going to do our drawing a little different. So we're going to give away the Gurglers, the Gurgs that John's tying tonight. But the way that we're going to do it this week is if you want to enter the drawing, what you need to do is comment on this video after it's over, after it posts as a standalone video. Go back to it and comment. And if you don't know how to comment on a YouTube video, basically you go to the video and you click on where it says comments, and then there's a place where you can comment. So I showed a picture of that too, and you can just type great video or worst Gurgs I ever saw or this guy sucks or I don't know, whatever you want to say. So whoever comments on the video after it posts this week, we're going to enter into a drawing that we'll announce the winner of next week, and we'll send both of these Gurgs to that person.
So they can see you talking as
well. Who wins? Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to switch cameras and like talk and show pictures and stuff and make pictures of like Chips with your face in it. So yeah, but anyway, that's going to be a lot of fun. And so to enter next week's drawing, comment on this video after it's posted, and you will be entered into the drawing to win. Or you can just not do anything and you can watch Chips reruns. It'd be like
while you're by. Oh, there you go. Jeff would Jeff. Well, yeah, that would be maybe if we make it to Texas, you can teach me to ride a motorcycle. That is one of the things that I have yet to. One hobby I've not gotten into is motorcycle riding. If you can believe it, that's not going to be long enough.
Truman. I love his reaction. The hand on the face, like, please no.
Well, Chasing Feathers, were you watching at the beginning of the show?
Yes.
If not, you need to turn around and go watch the beginning of the show or watch it later. Katie's like, dang, can I not say it?
Can I not say it?
Yes, you can say it.
Well, he won. He won the really cool fly box from Lidrig in our drawing this week. So we're going to send that off to you.
So big thanks to Jimmy Root for winning 2 weeks in a row and him saying, you know what, why don't you draw another winner? So Chasing Feathers, Katie just drew your name live earlier. And so just shoot us your address later on and we'll get your stuff sent out to you, unless you want to draw again. And if that's the case, that's fine. Okay, so just like the first one, except I'm using purple, I grabbed this clump from the very base of the tail because we want the flare. Got the same size 2 Arex in it, Arex Nordic Salt 122 on here. And I've got a little clump here that I have spun it and pulled out all the under junk out of. I'm shooting for roughly 2 times the hook, so that's roughly what I've got here. I'm using black now, 8/0 classic wax thread. So I'm just kind of going through his butt ends, make sure everything's all tied in. That looks terrible. And we're going to make this one a little bit fancier. Like that first one, and it's not like it's going to take that much more time, so I don't have to explain quite as much, but that first one, just slap a tail on. If you want to use marabou, use marabou. If you want to use a synthetic material, the predator fibers, whatever you want is fine.
Jeff said that he would supply your motorcycle.
I know. That's what, I don't know if you really want me to ride a motorcycle, but
I want you to. I think that'll be hilarious. You should get on it and go. And you should get your hair cut like that.
My hair what?
Your hair cut like that. Like parted down the middle and feathered.
Girl, you're going to have me like with 2 tight braids or something on the motorcycle. You're not going to let me cut my hair like that. That's right. Purple people.
I don't know if your hair would sit like that anyways.
Yeah. All right. So we got our, see how I've got a big flare there. That's I don't say I've never seen someone do this, do it with a flare, but maybe I have. Let's make this super bright. 2 sitting out here. We'll do the yellow one inside. So we've got yellow and purple. Purple down to Florida. We'll put some tarpon in the air on 5-way. So that would be.
Oh yes, yes,
now,
please.
Eric, when we were picking up our Hell's Bay back, that's a really long story about the Hell's Bay. We don't still have it. And oh gosh, what's the guy's name? Katie.
Which guy?
The guy that worked at Hell's Bay, Kaylee's husband, Katie's boyfriend.
Oh, Kaylee's boyfriend?
Yep. He's got that. He was looking at some of our little stimulators, and he was going to catch micro tarpon with stimulators on like I don't know, it was a 5-weight or what it was, but he's going to catch micro tarpon, which sounded pretty daggone fun.
We just pretended like we knew his. We were like, oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I guess,
for sure.
We're from Tennessee, so
Yeah,
I'm assuming when you say micro, tiny.
Like really small.
Like smaller than juvenile tarpon.
Yeah, like probably like the size of a war paint shiner.
Yeah. Like a war paint shiner. I thought you was a toad. I can't find my clampers, honey. There they are. Obviously retired in Florida. Mango snapper. No, when I'm tying Quans, that purple and black is probably one of my favorite colors. But it's like when it doesn't matter if you're saltwater, freshwater, purple and black is just a phenomenal. Now, if you ask Chris Harris, I don't think he's on here. It never works. Dream will tell you, doesn't work. All right. So before I get to whatever, let's get we'll use this UV black crinkles on for this one.
Oh, I love that color.
Me too, honey. It
But
just,
me too, really though. I do.
oh no.
No, really, please.
Messy bun, aviators, and bandana 44 mag.
Mm-hmm. But I want you to have one of like with the handlebars that are way up.
The ape hangers?
I don't know what you call them. They're on what's the
Yep.
motorcycle show that I like to watch? The Mayans.
No, you don't like the Mayans. You like the Sons of Anarchy because that blonde dude, you're like, ooh.
Well,
You're like, I'm not watching
I am like
him.
ooh, but I do like the Mayans too. But I am like ooh when I watch that guy.
All right, let's get a little more on this. UV black is nice. What's up, Ryan? Good
Hello.
evening to you. You've been
Hello,
missing-
top
you've been
of the
missing a
evening.
fun little evening so far. All right, I've got to make up for the fact that first one was just not my best showings. Make this one a little bit better. All right, so now we've got a not really nice sparkly wing here. God darn it, it's still not spun around. I'm trying to get this flash kind of distributed to the other side of the fly a little bit better. I clumped it up too much. If you're going to do something, do it right.
Oh, thanks for watching, Eric. And we'll take you up on fishing for tarpon.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
cool
show.
watching. All right, thanks, Eric. We appreciate it. We'll catch up with you soon. I knew I recognize his name from somewhere. All right, so that looks a little bit better. So now we're going to do bright yellow. This is just rare yellow dyed, grizzly dyed yellow. Flop this one on here. Nope. Might have not crimped this one. Hemostats.
Yes,
Did
and I
someone say
like the when I like the verb crimp better. That makes more. That sounds like that describes better what you're doing. You're kind of crimping it flat.
Well, thank you, honey. All right. Let's get that pinch right where we want it. Still a little bit twisted, but I think that'll be good.
I might have to go back and edit the video later and remove the likeness of the actor Eric Estrada. I don't know if we're like allowed to use his face on YouTube.
I don't know. I saw where one of your shows, you like watching The Office.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Carell sung some song as a joke on the show. Like part of the joke was him singing, he was just singing the song. And whoever wrote it was a popular 80s song. Whoever wrote it, the Capitol Records, I think, that owns the song, sued NBC. It cost them $60,000 for 4 seconds of him singing the song.
Wow, I wonder what song it was.
Someone might get all of our profits from the show.
I mean, I know they might get really upset because they're like, we want some of that we want some of those we want some of those like tens of dollars.
You know, if we got tens of dollars, we'd even joke about it. All right, so now we'll get the purple out. This has to be one of the best. Well, thank you, Ryan. Smoosh. Sorry, Jeff.
I love The Office. It's awesome. And or Chips. Are we talking about The Office or Chips?
Office. Okay. I haven't watched Chips in a long time. Actually, I think I did watch the new one.
That was a movie. It was hilarious.
One of the newer movies.
Yeah, we saw that together.
Oh, we did. That's so sweet.
Well, I mean, we saw like a million movies together, so I'm just assuming.
I'm trying to get two that are roughly the same size. So, do the same thing.
You're using Simperfly, Silly Legs, and Peacock Blue.
Am I?
That's what Gary said.
Is that the color that I should use, Gary?
Yes.
Here, I need to dig them out. I've got the best wife in the world. All right, so that's the right length. I'm gonna get the other one and match the tips up.
Okay. Are you
Quick,
still
quick.
getting your comments?
Do it.
Are you getting your comments?
Yes, I am. I can watch it repeat just like I did today. Yes, I know I'm late to show it.
Gary, are the peacock blue ones? Are they double sided or something? Yeah, but that's them.
They'll say it on the package. Armstrong Assassins. I bet Northern Pike would do that. We don't get too many Northern Pike in Tennessee, but I imagine mine probably be good. Gary said yes.
Awesome.
I'm just sitting here crimping some feather stems here. All right, so let's see which one's going to look better. I kind of got them both from the same side, so both be equally as bad. Which just means one won't be going up. Looks good. And the reason I did yellows because I got yellow on top. There's probably a little bit of yellow poking through.
It's kind of Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
It
You
is.
just made me blow my feather somewhere, honey. Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
All right. Pinch that. Bring it around.
Yes. Jason, Lakers too. Lakers.
All right.
Gary said, "Are you crimping it or are you flattening it?" Is what he said.
I'm flattening it.
He's flattening it.
But you might have to define the difference between crimping
I don't
and
know.
flattening.
I don't.
All right, so let's look at the top one up here, honey. So this is looking pretty good. So you can see how, yeah. So you can see how we got two yellow ones here going on the inside. Both these are splayed outward. So 4 total feathers, 2 on each side. They're all splaying outward. And we've got this purple bucktail in the middle that because it's flared out. It just makes a really nice little tail there for lots of stuff. But as that's going through the water, it should be pretty cool. All right, so now we'll because we're going to do something different. We'll be kind of fancy again. I wish I had a rooster, but we'll just have to make do. Well, didn't mean to pull that off. So I want to grab.
Don't forget the legs.
Thank you. Keep on reminding, honey.
Well, I only do it once, Gary.
All right, so this is Polar Chanel, but this is crack wrap from Psycast. This is just a really small, fine, like Palmer Chanel. And this is what on the first one we did not do. Because I don't want this to be really, and the main reason we didn't do this is because that the Semper Fly, let me grab it. So I'm telling you correct. The extreme string is would cover all this work up. So there's no real reason to do that. But this is just adding some nice little extra flash in here. This is going to be the Mac Daddy. I hope. Okay. So, Katie, is there anything someone could do to get this flat? They might not want the white one. Probably would rather give the white one we posted today. If someone wanted this fly, do you think they do get this?
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody wants either one of these flies or both of them, actually, all they really have to do is comment on the video this week. So just comment on this video after it's over. Go to the page where the video posts and click on the video. And there's a little place underneath it where you can comment and add a comment. Just say anything. You can say, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. You can say awesome Gurgs. You can say happy Mardi Gras. You can say I love chips. You can say anything you like. Just comment. That's all you have to do, and you can be entered into a drawing to win these flies. So yay.
All right. So this is kind of a Quan rear end. So all I did is just the other, pull it back. There we go. So you see how that gives it a nice little sparkly effect there. Kind of looks cool. Way to bang on it. We're banging, Gary.
He's banging.
We are banging for sure. Make sure that's all sitting pretty. I mean, that's looking, if you ask me, that's looking pretty good. Now, I get my legs out. There we go, my phone. All right, so we're going to do the same thing we did before, only we're going to bring it all the way to the front. When I say all the way, I mean almost all the way to the front. So I'm going to take my foam, bring it around, pull tight. Bring it around again, pull tight 3 times. Now we'll start crisscrossing right here. And I think Mark was talking about doing a point. Someone's talking about do it. If you want to cut your foam to a point, that's cool. But you can do, you don't have to. That's all. Do
That's
whatever.
just another way to do it.
Yep.
And it works.
So the main reason that I'm not doing a point is because I want to have somewhat of an even body. Because I'm going to put dubbing on this and hackle and everything else. Now I'm just trying to flatten this down. Now let's take a look at this. See how that's kind of going like that.
Yeah. When do you tie the legs in?
Here, I'm going to tie her. Probably time it now.
Okay.
Once I get this tied down just the way I would like.
That's some strong thread right there.
Oh, honey, just like your husband. All right, so now we're good. Just check and make sure that that's going where you want it. Make sure it's on top of the hook the way you want it. Make sure everything's good. So here are the legs that Gary requested. The purple peacock, I believe.
Yep.
I wasn't involved with Kindle. No way, Steve. Go Uni Panthers. I don't know what Uni Panthers are.
That's a team.
Team?
Yeah,
Team.
like probably a soccer team or a football or I don't know. Football.
Foosball?
I'm just guessing.
Is that them foosball teams, honey?
It's one of those.
One of them
My little Bobby don't play no foosball.
Oh,
NFL.
Well, I feel dumb because I'm sorry. I'm glad you're not on here for NFL stats. It'd be
Me too.
It'd be short. Yeah, short.
Gosh, I didn't even know Charlotte had an NFL team.
Yeah.
I know they have a dysfunctional airport.
It was a uni that got me. I was like, what the heck? The Uni Panthers. All right, so I'm not too worried about this. So I do want them coming out the top a bit, but because I'm gonna wrap dubbing. I just need to put some wire in here, but I'm gonna wrap dubbing, and that dubbing kind of like on a patch rubber legs. Dubbing's gonna kind of set these where I want them. Let's go and get a piece of wire. Here's a piece of scrap silver wire. This is which is the 0.2 millimeter Saberfly tying wire here.
Yes, the airport in Charlotte is an absolute nightmare. Every time I see that we have to go there, I just want to cry.
Oh, honey, don't cry.
I know, but it makes me want to. You know it does.
Well, there might be a direct flight from Charlotte to Alaska.
Well, every time I avoid going there, my flight gets canceled and they send me back.
Every time you avoid going there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I had the perfect dubbing sitting over here. This is what I get for trying to. There it is. Sitting a little south of me. Wade. All right, so I'm going to do.
I love it, and I love the
purple,
legs.
Purple Merple. So Wade is sitting a little south of Charlotte, I guess. Let's do. All right, so I'm not trying to get a like thick, heavy body. Say we're not. We're just going to get the nice body done with this, and we'll have it roughly loose. There we go. So this is probably about a third or so of what I'll need.
Look at how all those colors go together so well.
For someone that's colorblind, that ain't half bad, is it, baby?
No, you can see those colors though, can't you?
Well, I can see it's purple.
Right. It's when we get into the olives and the tans and yeah, that's when I'm not quite sure you know what you're quite sure what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, it's glad to see Katie in full effect. We actually, guys, one of the big differences between tonight, and I apologize, but one of our guests is not with us. Misha was kicked out from last week because
she was bad.
As awesome as she is a major distraction.
She was very, very talkative last week and rowdy and did all kinds of naughty things. Like she played with her squeaky toy really loud for a long time.
And then she choked on some piece of something.
She choked on something and she made embarrassing hacking noises for like 5 minutes. She was knocking stuff over.
And tying lives kind of is a challenge, but that daggum dog puts his nose in your crotch while you're trying to be live. You're like, good grief, girl. You're messing around. All right, so let's zoom in back again here. So we've got our get one more of these feathers. All right, so you see our purple Merple. We got our nice legs here, put them on both sides. So that's looking pretty sweet. So I'm going to take off my stem with my feather. The trainer kind of does nothing.
That is
my dog.
Hilarious. I love it.
Yes, Truman. I finally, it took so long. I finally got it totally filled back in yesterday. That was a night.
But it's the Trump.
Don't open up that can of worms, honey.
What are we calling it? The stump.
Stump. Yeah.
The stump.
That's not what we're calling it. It's called a stump.
The stump, Truman, is still kind of like sitting like over on the side of the yard because
it weighs like 200 pounds.
It's really, really heavy. Like we don't really sure how we're gonna like.
And honestly, it's kind of like a trophy now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to move it, but all right. So we've kind of done a woolly bugger. We've done just what you do. We done what you do.
That's right, Lid Rig. We got the purple and the yellow going. It's Mardi Gras. It's LSU. It's the Panthers. It's fancy.
There we go. Probably gotta get some hackle pliers because keeping up with this hackle stem and those legs is going to be kind of challenging. There we go. I don't know if my hackle twisted on me or not, but we'll say it didn't. Just go with it.
If you guys would like to enter into a drawing, have a chance to win the 2 flies tied tonight, all you have to do is comment on this video after it's over. And you will be entered into a drawing. We'll announce the winners next week. If you don't know how to comment on a video after it's posted, here's how to do it. You go to the comments part and you write a comment in the comment box. You can write whatever you like.
All right, so I'm just running this wire through. I should have definitely gotten a longer piece of wire. I literally grabbed a scrap piece.
He literally grabbed a piece off the floor that he told me not to throw away 3 months ago.
Oh, that's
being a little bit honest. I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it there.
Now, this is like one of those good learning moments of, I'll use my flatteners here, maybe grab it.
Your flatteners?
There, I've got to like hold my breath for this. Here we go. I think that'll be good enough. Oh yeah, it's better than good enough. Got all the way to the front. So that was kind of a mess. So a good learning thing about, don't try to use wire that's too short. I say that all the time. And I totally underestimated that piece. So before I brush this out, I'm going to make sure that I've got this wire lashed down really good.
Well, if you don't, you can retie it for the one we give away.
All right, so pick this out a little bit. Here we go. It's looking good. Oh. Cut that out. Now let's be rough with it. Because that scud dubbing is going to come out and look really pretty. Give it a little bit of flash, a little bit of sparkle. Not a whole bunch, but just enough. And like I said, I was pretty rough with it just now with that brush, so it's looking pretty cool. Bring our thread back to about the middle of that band. Pull our legs down the way we want them. And now we'll just make sure everything's right where we want it before I tie this down. And remember how I said that you can pull this down like this and tie it down. The last one's like that. Well, you can really bring it back. So I'm going to leave this one kind of up like this. Should have got everything kind of out of the way. And if you want to put another set of legs right here, you could. Tight. Tighter. Even tighter.
Gosh, it almost looks like it's cutting through the foam.
Well, you got to be kind of careful. That's why we don't use our really skinny thread. And that's really why we don't want to put what's the word? We don't want to put use our nano silk, because nano silk definitely would. Also, if I can get away, need a flat thread. Yep, and that's why the 6/0 flat thread, and it's not going to cut through as easily.
Yeah, I probably need to do a video on the foam and gluing pieces together, because I've learned a lot, and that actually is a piece that I would not do the same way. Because if you'll notice, like I have my mouse pointer and you guys don't see it, but I'm pretending like you see it. There is a white strip in between the two colors.
Well, not on this one.
There sure is on that one.
Not on this one. There is.
Okay.
Well, dadgum it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's called being right, but not arguing about it.
Oh, honey. Well,
Anyway, that was a mistake that I made with some craft foam I bought. It had a piece of paper on the back, and I wasn't really sure what that was all about. Well, it was adhesive paper, and I really needed to take that off.
okay, lay back gurgle. Okay, so where is our thing? Yes, I didn't notice that paper was showing through on that. I thought that's why I grabbed this piece in particular. Pull everything back. Catch a haggle fiber, it's okay. We'll pull it out.
Gary, I know.
What did I forget?
He said that I should have used nitrogen-filled foam.
Yep.
That was way back before I even knew what that was.
Nitrogen.
Yeah, this is old school foam from the old way back in the day. Like when we were like finding materials like on the ground and in dumpsters.
That's right. So I've got that done. We can. Yeah, I did not realize this had the torn paper on it.
I'm sorry, I should have looked at it before you grabbed it. I tried to sort stuff out so that you would like go to the like newer stuff. But...
Well, unfortunately, we don't have any of this glue together that doesn't have the paper. So if you, long story short, Katie's going to do something. If you glue foam together and you go into the craft store and it has an already adhesive sheet on the back of it, take it off before you glue together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just doing that. But that was also why I wanted to use this 4.5 millimeter. Gary's talking about it being nitrogen filled. It is nitrogen filled foam, but it's very supple. It ties down very nicely. That's what we did with this one. And let's see if we can do it side by side. So you can see like thickness wise. Well, no, you can't really. Thickness wise, they're
about the same.
Well, this one's about roughly 0.5 millimeter thicker. This one's a little bit thicker, but it's more supple in how it goes.
Yeah, you could put a marker to this white part if you really just wanted to hide that, but it still floats just fine. It's just got like that.
And this actually is a pretty dark color. Here, let's get rid of this light. It's a pretty dark color here of green. It's more like an olive, I guess, or maybe Katie might say it's yellow, but
it's a light green.
Well, on the yellow, the purple, or this green, because the white really takes it good. So let's trim, and this nitrogen foam looks like open cell foam. Get the micrometer. Michael, it's not. I honestly don't know exactly how it's made, Michael. I know it's much more. It compresses better, but I don't know. I need to get more of it because I've got the sheets that I had was this size with one piece cut off to it, and I've got a bunch of colors of it, but that's it. So Gurglers, here's one. Got a really nice purple, nice little. You got the yellow on top color here. You could always tie in an indicator. The more thread you put it underneath the lip, the more it's going to raise up. The more it raises up, the more it's going to pop or gurgle as it's going. I like doing it to where you have the little hump in the back. So before you tie off, kind of push it back so you got a little bit of a hump. But feel free to pull it tight. The body part here, this is basically woolly bugger with the Silverfly scud dubbing on it. And tails, just use some flash and the base of your bucktail, and you're good to go. So get that all straightened out. And now I've got there's Steve, like a stealth bomber. That's right. So I'm gonna get my comments going back up so that'll load. And so between now and next week, we'd love to see your gurglers. So Shelby. So Katie can share them with you. next week.
That's right. Share your Gurgs.
And they don't have to be exactly what we tied. Just tag us in it, in the photograph itself, and also comment on the video. I think Katie's going to talk about that right now. So I'll let you
Right.
talk about
So
it.
if you want to win some Gurgs that we tied, all you have to do to enter the drawing that we'll pick a winner for next week is to comment on this YouTube video after it's over, which is in just a couple of minutes. And go to our YouTube page and find the video. It has a section that says comment, and then you just write something down in the comments. That's it.
Absolutely. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, we'd appreciate that. I'm gonna have to get the terminology. I've been doing it long enough. You think I have the terminology down? Like and subscribe.
Yes, and at the top I pinned our email address. If you want to email pictures of your flies to us for us to feature on the show, you can do that as well. So yeah, and if you want to share your Gurg picture with us, the easiest way to share your fly pics at any time with us is to be sure that you tag us on your picture. So the way that you're going to do that is tag us by putting Demuth Fly Fishing when you tag people, and it'll end up right there on the photo when you hover over it. And we'll get a notification that we've been tagged, and we'll see your picture.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thanks, Wade, for hopping on. Gary, appreciate it. Jimmy, thank you so much. And thank you for redonating your winnings from last week. So congratulations to Mark with Chasing Feathers. Warm up the Batmobile. That's right. So we look forward to seeing everyone next week, next Wednesday night, same bat time, same bat channel. And we'll come up with something else to tie. If there's anything you guys want to see, let us know, and we'll do our best to whip it up. We might go down to midges next week just for Sergeant Bass Fisher for Joe, since he's tying small. Might pull out our favorite midge.
I know you guys have swapped, like Freaky Friday, swap places.
I know. We're wild. So, guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week. I'll turn over to Katie, let her say goodbye.
Have a great week, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.